So I'm going to run through how to build your Novaa Base Station. I've got mine up on our display wall here, but the first thing you're going to do is connect it to your car. Now at the back here we have our cinch bolt. You've also got your lights if you went with the light kit, but all you're going to need here is a 24mm spanner to do that up nice and tight. So now I'm going to be putting together our high rack with two crossbars. So here you have your 900 uprights, and then you have your cross rails 1100 that will span across, so you can get 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably don't need more than 5, but these just allow you to put everything and mount stuff a little bit more. As the more you get, the more mounting options you'll have. But I think 3 is pretty much perfect with the 600 and the 900 rack. With the racks, you will get a selection of stainless steel washers, ball nuts, and screws. These are M8 with a Allen key bit, so you'll need to grab Allen keys, and then you have your flat brackets. You will need to peel off the protective plastic here. It'll come like that just to stop it from scratching on any. So once you've got all your rails ready, grab your upright rail. This will go into your uprights. Now this is your upright on either side. So these go straight in there like that. Now what you want to do is grab a bolt and a washer, and then underneath here there'll be a little hole which will line up with the bottom of your rail. You want to do that one up first, because once it's all tight and you can't get that in, it's very hard to get in. On the rear of the upright mount, so on the rear here, there is another one. This will need a ball nut, which can just slide straight in. And it goes down, and then you just grab your Allen key, push that down into place, grab your bolt, and just do that up hand tight. And then you do the same for the other side, but make sure you do your uprights first. Once you've got your uprights in, finger tight, you don't want to go and put your cross beams in straight away, because where you're mounting your cargo carrier, your wheel arm plate, or any of your mounting, that's what's going to determine what height they go in. So first you want to pick your accessory and then mount that and get the height correct first. So I'm mounting the right side of the cargo carrier. Now I've got my upright here. Depending on how high you want it, you want to put in your ball nuts. So for this side here, 1, 2 on the upright. Kind of guess where it is, like you can have it right down onto this, but you get that, get your nut and washer. Again, just do them finger tight, because you can still move it where you want. And then when you've got it into the position when everything's done, you cinch it all off. That is the right side of the cargo bracket. So now we've got the right side of the cargo carrier, or whatever you're mounting, in place. We can put our first rail in. So you grab the cross rails, find out where it is. Now, because we're using the cargo carrier as the corner bracket, find out where your slot is here. Put in your ball nuts. get it to about the right spot. Grab your nut and washer, line it up. Again, just finger tight, and then you can move on to the other side. If you're unsure of what you're putting on the other side, this is where you can use a flat bracket. Now, you don't want to put it on the front just yet because you might be putting something on the front here. So tend to always put it on the back, because if you put this on the back, it's not going to get in the way of anything mounting here. So to mount your corner bracket, angle bracket, flat bracket, line it up where it is. Obviously you're going to need a ball nut in here and then 2 in here. All right, that is how you mount a corner bracket. If you didn't have anything on the other side, you'd do the same on that side, which will give it a really tight fit. But on the other side, sometimes you'll be running another cargo carrier or a spare wheel carrier, or something might get in the way of this that you need to mount to that. So just put these on the back first, because you don't know what you're going to do on the front side, because there's so many different configurations. So just like here, we've got the cargo carrier right side on the back side, mounting that corner. This side we don't have anything. That's where we grab flat bracket and mount that just the same on this side, and it will give it that complete strength. If for some reason you can't pull that out, these ball nuts, simply just put them in like that, give them a little play, and then they'll pop into position for you. Grab your Allen key, and then they're in the sliding position. So here I have got the flat bracket on the back, holding that nice and secure. And then on the back side of the rack, I've got the right side of the cargo. So you can see here how there is the flat bracket holding that side of the corner, but then we're using the cargo carrier as the bracket here, okay? Important that you remember that, because if you go and build the whole rack, you won't be able to put your cargo rack here because the flat bracket will be there. So make sure to build your accessories first, and then while you're building the rack. Now we're going to mount the left side of the cargo carrier. Now this will determine what you're carrying. If you're carrying 2 jerrys, can fit 2 jerrys in here. If you're carrying a large box, you can have it all the way over here. But this is extremely modular. You can fit that anywhere you want, but I only carry 2 jerrys or a small little cargo box, so I tend to put it about here, but you can just loosen it off whenever you want and move it on the fly. But same thing goes, put your ball nuts in here, put them into the slot, and then hand tied it up. So I've got that on. I've done this one only hand tie, and you can see wherever you want to mount it, you just unscrew it, move it, tighten it back up. Now, for the cargo carriers, you do need one at the bottom of the back and one at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my cross beam and put that, same thing, put the ball nuts in here, line it up, and tighten it up here. So for the cargo carrier, once you've got one side bolted in, you've got 2 rails. You've got this one loose, depending on where you want to put it. You can grab the base plate. I mean, you can run it like that and use the tie downs, but if you do want a base plate so you can put kind of random stuff in there, firewood or a couple boxes or bags and stuff, grab your base plate, just slides in like that. There is a bolt that goes in here and here, just like the ball nut, and then a nut on top, and then you can move that out, move that across, move that all the way. I mean, you can move it to like that, where it's a solid base, you can put whatever in there. You can move it further out here so you've got more length. Take it out, put it in, move it way out there, and then you've got like an 850 boxed. Bolt it in. Put that in one of the holes. And then underneath, grab your ball lock, push it up, and then slide it into one of the grooves, and then you do that up, and you do that for both sides. So that is how you set up your cargo carrier. You can set that up anywhere, or you can set up dual or anywhere on the rack, but they do need 2 back bits, and you want all of that done up. So here I have our spare wheel holder, our tire keeper. This one is fully put together, but all it is 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there. Slide that together there, put that on there, and then your rod goes there with your 2 big washers, and then your nuts. And then when the tire's on there, you got your 2 bolts that go on the front there. Pretty simple, but I'm gonna mount this on this side. Now, because I haven't put brackets here, this is gonna act as my bracket. You've got all the slits down here, and that's what's gonna join this to that, making it one. Your wheel holder, you can put as many as you want, but we suggest 1 down the bottom, 1 in the middle, 1 on the top. So you have a ball nut here, here. So go ahead and put those in. Is the 3 bolts on this side, but then you've got to come back to your cross members, slide in the ball nuts in where that, and then slide across, and then bolt and wash it in. We've got those in 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can do our 3rd and final rail across the top. Because we have got the wheel carrier on the corner of here, mounting that, I'm just going to put the flat bracket on the back. First I'll put the flat bracket on here, and then put it up there, so it's a lot easier. You only want to do that finger tight, because then you can move this up and down once you've done the other side, because depending on what you mount on the front side, like your drop tables or your vast water tanks or anything slimline, you want to be able to move that, so don't do that up too tight too soon. Alright, so the back top rail is mounted, but depending on what you're mounting, you can pull that down, up and around. So for a drop table like this, you want to find out what height you want it at. Because these are already mounted, you're probably going to want to use that height. So in these bottom holes, put in your ball nuts, place that on, do that up, move this top rail down to whichever holes you're lining up with, and then do them up. So it's just moving all the racks up and down so you can mount everything in the right spot. So you will have spots where you've got a mount here covering that corner, and then so you just grab a flat bracket, whichever way you want to put it, and bolt that in. All right, so for our bike rack extenders, or the horizontal bar extenders, these ones that come out here, it's the same as the uprights. In the back, you've got a hole where you want to go, a bolt and a washer. Line this hole up first, okay? It's good to go. You can tighten this one up if you want. or you can hang, and then same as the upright, under here there is a hole, so you want to put a ball nut washer in, slide it in there, and then do this up. Do the hand tight, and then you've got your horizontal bars where you can put bike racks, you can put cargo racks, depending on what you are putting in on top of that, you can lift your cargo racks up. So at the start of the build, make sure you know what you're putting on there so you can build the rack. But if you wanted to put ladders or boxes or anything across here, all you need to do is just grab this whole setup and then mount it a bit higher so you can put stuff underneath. But again, with the tie down points, you just put a ball in here and then tie it in there. Nice and easy. So for our pivot rails, which are used for the bike rack, for your top wheel holder, or anything that you want a pivot on, what you'll get with it is your pivot rail, other end of the pivot, handle, spacer in the middle, and two nuts that go on the end of the pivot. Before you put it together, you want to grab this end. You'll have these two little locking nuts. If they're not in there, they'll be in the bag. So put that in there. Grab a bolt of some sort. Now, depending on where you want to mount it, will depend on where it's pivoting. So it will depend on where you put your little spaces in there. Because if you've got it here, it can pivot that way. If you've got it up here, you can pivot down that way. You can put it here, you can put it there, you can put it anywhere. With the bike rack, I tend to like to put it on top. So just pop that in and then do that up. So when you're putting the pivot arm, the pivot rail in, put the spacer in there, get that in there, make sure you got your concave one in the lever and then the other one on the other side. Keep your handle to the outside because it could get in the way, but you can choose which side you want that on. So put that one in, do it up, make sure the nuts go into the channels that they're meant to go into. Line them up. And then you've got your pivot lever. So do that up very tight. It's not going anywhere. Loosen it up. You can move that wherever you like.